Welcome to Apex Esports League. I'm JT. Tonight we're bringing you live coverage of Project Cars 2 Pagnian Imports V8 Supercar Championship, and tonight is the opening round of a 5-round series. Tonight's track for round 1 is Watkins Glen International Short. For round 2 we'll see Rapuna Park GP. Round 3 is Long Beach Street Circuit, and that will feature a night race. And then also off to Dubai Autodrome International for round 4, and of course the final round is at Bathurst Mount Panorama. So tonight's session, we're heading into a 15-minute practice with weather conditions medium cloud. Qualifying is 15 minutes, weather also medium cloud, and the sprint race is 16 laps, weather is medium cloud with no mandatory pit. Then we'll head over into a 9-minute break, ready for session 2. So we've got 15 minutes of qualifying, weather is light cloud, and the main race is 30 laps, weather is clear, and there is a mandatory pit requirement. We did have a final round last week for the Pagnian Imports Ferrari 488 Challenge, and Corby 387 won the championship with 1,005 points. Fuera de Jury 81 in second place, and Marky Mark in third. So the results from last week's race was in just the final race. We had Sami qualify second and take the victory, and that was at Bannockbrae Road Circuit when Rooney 9015 took the fastest lap bonus points. We'll check out the track. It's off to the USA for Watkins Glen International Short. It is the shorter variation of the International GP. So it's going to be a very quick pace for the V8 Supercars around this track. Track length is 4.06 kilometers and there's 8 turns. And it's going to be slightly cool. It is the season of spring, but it is starting at a 9 a.m. simulated time. So those first few laps out there are going to be a little bit slippery. We've got a full 16-car grid. This is going to be plenty of exciting action. Corby's the first one to get out on the track. And if you are just joining us for the stream, don't forget to hit that follow button. Appreciate the growing support for Apex Esports League. Myself and all our members greatly appreciate it. Oh, Corby finds it a little bit slippery. Slams that nose into the wall. It's going to take a good couple of laps to try and get these tyres up to temp before they start sticking. And the drivers do have full custom setups enabled for this series. For the Ferrari 488 Challenge, we did actually go back to default settings. We hadn't done a default series for quite some time. However, the V8 Supercars in this game are very loose. They are massive powerhouses and a very hard beast to tame. So having default setups and going to a good variety of tracks does make it a little bit difficult and removes a lot of potential strategy options as well. As we'll see the drivers all starting out on hard tyres if it was defaults, but this way they can choose their weight and fuel levels as well as their tyre compound. Don't forget, jump into the chat, say hello. Use those sound effects controls down underneath the stream. You can cheer on and applaud and do some other stuff all within the stream. That's a shame, Killer. Yeah, we did have 4 slots empty. There was a few that couldn't make it. We're also missing Wira, who is having some issues with his PlayStation, not logging in and staying logged in, going on and offline for quite some time. And we do have a debut driver with us tonight. We have Dan, PS Man. Wishing him all the best tonight. His debut race of Apex Esports League. Oh, a little bit of lag going on. That's not going to be meaning a disconnect for someone. First times coming through, we're seeing minute 7s. Head Farmer having some very good opening pace. And do let me know if my voice is a little quiet. I've changed over headset, so hopefully you can hear me nice and clearly. Ooh, big slide. Like to make our way down through and get familiar with everyone's liveries for their cars. Willy-nilly. That's a 1:05.554. That's a very quick time. We have Head Farmer in car number 16 for Cash Show. Will be 387 in car number 13. There's yellow car up alongside. Actually, that is, it's possibly Demon effects. Do we have Demon in here? No. Simo Simsel in car number 33. The green car. Marky Mark also in the Cash Show car. And on some of the shorter tracks with the possibility of shared pit stalls when the drivers are matching team colours, they could potentially see themselves having to share a pit bay, so they will have to pay attention. Oh, he just scrapes that wall. That's put him off balance as he goes down through the rest of that track. That's Head Farmer. Gallon 350. I think he's in car number 10. So I didn't know if it was the yellow car just up ahead. Betty Monkey in car number 2. And the Vazmac. That's Doggy Daddy 420 in car number 28 in the yellow car. I thought that was Mickliffe in the blue car. Then for a second just took a moment to change over, focus on his car. Mick must be loving being out in the V8 using steering wheel and also a wheel stand. A big difference trying to handle the V8 with that rather than the controller. He still always managed to perform very well regardless. Yeah, good. Looking forward to seeing some intense battles with Mick out in the V8. Malarkey, not sure where he is. He must be in pit lane, must be the blue car in pit lane. And Malarkey getting it loose in pit lane. Def 991. That's car number 5. T-Rex in car number 52. Not sure if it's matching team colours. I think they are actually different. Yes, they aren't. Actually, they are different teams. Over to T-Rex GT30. Car number 52. Over to Cool Boy, car number 77. Down PS Man. Car number 37. Sami's come through with the quickest lap time. He's in the white and green car number 7. BK Rush we haven't covered. DK also showing some good pace of 105.161. Oh, got the fishtail going as he's approaching to the last corner. Got that death wobble and off she went. Well, I think that's a bit of lag showing for Corby. Yeah, he's skipping all over the shop there. Let's see. He's coming up to a lap. Whoa, that's a big hit. That came out of nowhere. He's coming around blind corner as the car reversed out. Hey, Wira. Yeah, they mentioned that they were having some dramas with signing into PSN. Yes, Sasami said he was going to do the honours and drive car number 7 for you, so you better take good care of it. The car's looking pretty good so far, Wira, so hopefully it does him some luck out there. If he does, he might have to get him to let's have the championship points as well. That on board for a lap with T-Rex. Hope we don't jinx him. It was a pretty good lap. It was 0.7 quickest. Down to turn 1. Very slippery out on that exit curb. Very slippery coming up and through turn 2 up this hill. Can it really put you off? Into turn 3 over the crest. And same again for turn 4. However, you can put down and go pretty flat out for the remainder. The GP version here, this is where we have the chicanes. My map was actually different. Looked like it actually cut it off. And then we got T-Rex actually not going to finish this lap up. I'll try and find someone else for a lap around. Haven't we covered? We've checked out dirty. I think majority of the cars out there seem to be Vazmac. Alright. Oh, a little bit slippery for Philly, but it's the same section where T-Rex pulled up the chicanes. Big sweeping right, very long corner. Puts you off. You can see the other version of the GP track goes off to the left. Getting into a sharp left-hand corner. The right line will allow a lot of pace still. See the driving line for that last corner. Turn 8 is actually part of the pit entry line. You can see it's a very short version. Starmie's back out on track. They got back Steph 991 back for a series. Didn't jump in for the GT3 Enduro, so it's good to see her make a return after some absence. Wishing her all the best in the V8s for this series. A little bit of issues going on. That was Balaki having some dramas as well. And some difficulty with the car at the moment. Is 26 seconds off the pace at this point. Kawhi looking to get a bit of temp into those tyres. Time progression is set to ×2, so as we go through 15 minutes of practice, it'll simulate 30 minutes of time. That will mean it'll be moving on to about 9:30 AM towards the end of the practice session. And the weather conditions of being medium cloud cover is going to mean it's rather cool. have some trouble. Oh, he just narrowly avoids the car as it comes around. I have no idea who's in that. I think that may have been Head Farmer. No. I think that was Marky Mark that narrowly avoided that contact. Ooh, nearly has another close call. Car bringing the car into the pits. I think that may have been Balaki. He's now scrambling back out on track. Our debut, Dan, setting a lap time of 1:15.860. There's 1 minute remaining for practice. And we head over into 15 minutes of qualifying. Championship points are up for grabs for qualifying position. 25 points will be granted for setting pole position. And that is definitely crucial in furthering your lead for the championship. We've had some very close wins. And there's only a matter of a couple of points in a championship. Just qualifying a couple of positions lower, or even setting the fastest lap bonus points. That's 10 points that's up for grabs for getting the fastest lap of a race. That can make all the difference to the win of the championship. In every series we've been seeing our drivers get tighter and tighter throughout the entire grid. And with the great track lineup that we've got for this series, it's going to be some very tight racing in the V8 Supercars. Don't forget, if you are just joining us for the stream, hit that follow button. We do go live with Project Cars 2 on Thursday night, 7:30 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And then also we have more V8 Supercars on iRacing on Monday nights at the same time. Coming up is round 2 this Monday night. That's with the VF Commodores and the FG Falcons. Sadly, in Project Cars 2, it is only just the FG Falcon. We don't get the Holden versus Ford battle. Project Cars. Corby really pushing out some speed in that car. You can see that car slipping out. Throwing this thing around everywhere. That was a little bit wild. That could very well have been lag though. Oh, we've just had a big spin. That was Simo. I don't know if he was just having some fun doing a handbrake here across the finish line. I can hear someone doing a burnout. There's plenty of noise going on. Probably Balaki. She's over Balaki or Gallen. Gallen's budget for tyres must be a little bit lower these days. There's been a fair few less burnouts, but Balaki has well and truly been making up for it and even doing some jumps for some pre-race entertainment as well. There we have practice for round 1. Sami coming through with the quickest time at 1:04.101. Corby also in with the 104s. Billy and DK all in the 104s. That's 0.6 difference between the first 4. And there's only a second between the first 5, so it's going to be pretty interesting heading into qualifying. Weather conditions still remain the same. Still medium cloud cover. In-game time is now 10 AM. Track temp will slightly increase. They're probably not going to need as many cautious laps out there to get those tyres up the temp. We have to play cautious in those more sharper corners. Several cars already scrambled out on track. 5 remaining to get out. Steph making her way out now. Farmer seems to be following behind. Dirty Monkey's still to get out on track. Dan Pierceman also still in his pit stop. Rex looking like he just misjudged the chicane. When you join us for the stream, don't be shy, jump into the chat, say hello. Let us know who you think's going to take pole position. We see Sami end up with the same pace as the practice session. We have just as good of a run in the qualifying. Jeff moves out of the way for like Gallen's car. Should be on board for first timed laps now. 105 straight up for Gallen. Oh no, Steph just copped the speeding penalty. She's copped herself a 1 grid place penalty. Drivers don't remember to hit that pit limiter and do exceed 60 kilometres in the pits. They do get a grid place penalty. And doing so in the race will usually cost them 10 seconds post-race time penalty instantly applied. And excessive speeding can see it that grow up to 50 seconds very quickly. And then once that reaches a higher level, it will actually be a DQ. And that forfeits any race points, so we don't want to see that occur. DQing qualifying is going to definitely cost them a lot of time. Oh, we've just had a disconnect. Cool Boy's disconnected. Corby is skipping about, a little bit of a lag spike going on for him. Maybe very well for Cool Boys disconnect. It sometimes does usually spike everyone's session just for a moment. It especially does when drivers join the session. You will actually notice a few frame skips while you're driving. And it can be very off-putting, especially mid-corner. If Cool Boy can get in, otherwise any of our reserve drivers that have had the invite sent, if Cool Boy can't get in, they can jump back in. There's Anol, thanks for joining us, mate. Cheering on for Mick and Gal. Mick showing some very good pace out there. Dan Pierceman also copping himself a grid place penalty. They're going to have to qualify pretty strongly. If the drivers are still make the start of the race, they will need to be able to get back into the qualifying session for all the last 3 minutes. Otherwise it does actually cut them out and it makes them miss the start. Corby's got the quickest time so far, a 1:04.407. Billy only 0.135 away. Marky Mark up in third. Mark, Mick, Gallen and DK all in the 105s. Timo and the head farmer both qualifying with a 106. Doggy Daddy doing well with a 108.760. It's good to see Doggy Daddy back on track. We haven't seen him for a fair few series. Okay, no worries, cool boy. I'll say killer if you're watching the stream still. Cool boy got disconnected from the rain. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get back in. So that means there's an open spot. He's still coming through with 104s. He's only going to shave 0.2 off and he can steal away pole position. And also, where if you're watching, if you try, cool boys managed to get back in. And there's a lot of storms around in the areas. It does drastically affect it. And we had Mick Cliff having to rely on hot spotting several rounds ago, which was affecting his connections. We've even had power outages and the like. We've got Cool Boy back in, so he's managed to resolve his tech issue with the disconnect. And just getting in time as well. Oh, there's 3 red place penalties now. Def, Doggy and Dan all wearing red place penalties. Look at Sami, he has come through with that pole position time again. A good 2.88 in front of Corby. He's brought it into the pits. That's not what I was looking for. Just bring up the speedos. Just we're going to have a look at the differences in fuel loads for the drivers. Sami running a couple of litres lighter than Corby. And Philly nearly opting to run at least nearly 14 litres heavier compared to Corby's car. Well, I'm only seeing 0.2 difference. We don't really know if the extra weight is a hindrance or if it's a blessing. As on a lot of the more technical tracks, we're really trying to ensure the rear sticks down. Sometimes that extra weight is just enough to keep that back grounded and give you that more traction. Otherwise you start to find it very flighty, and that was a very loose chicane. That's pinned it for Philly. He's going to have to get back out there. There's only 4 minutes remaining now. That's going to give him at least a good couple of laps to be able to get some temp into those tyres, to be able to get some really well-timed laps. You can see Corby really focused here, doing a little bit of weaving. finally back out on track. Sure, he's in that red car. That's Cool Boy. Cool Boy has got back out on track and got a time in. Any disconnect at this stage of the qualifying session will see them miss the start of the race. Hopefully no technical issues go on. A little bit loose for Cool Boy. Lucky being able to rein those lap times in now. Struggling in the practice session, about 26 seconds off the pace. Lucky was doing a fantastic job throughout the Ferrari series. Hopefully does the same through the V8 Supercars. They are very much a different car. Most would say the V8 Supercar and the NASCAR in project cars are probably the two most difficult cars to drive. We're going to look at doing NASCAR series and then opted not to, and then did the Ferrari 488 challenge because of a lot of the difficulties that we're having. Oh, Corby, the weaving, trying to get that temp into the tyres, really putting him off, and then puts it into the wall, so it's invalidated this lap time. And if he's taken damage, he's going to have to just put up with it. Because going into the pits now, it's not going to be enough time to get around and get another timed lap in. He's going to have to make do with the time he's got, or with the condition of how the car is. Not a lot of movement at the front end. 5 drivers in the 104 mark. DK and Gallen also in with 104s. Mikey Mark in with 105, followed by T-Rex and Mick Cliff. Looks like a lot of drivers running around the 11 to 15 litre mark. Mick Cliff having a lot of pace, but it's going to put him in an awkward spot coming into the chicane. Looks like Dan PS Man just ahead of him. And these times have really been reined in. We saw 26 seconds separating the grid in the practice. Now coming to the end of the qualifying, there's only 8 seconds separating 16 cars. That is very tight, especially on a 4-kilometre track with 8 turns. The sprint race is going to be very intense. Can Sami hold on to this pole position? So that is qualifying now done. That's last laps. There's Balaki doing a few donuts. Sami backs off, obviously not one of his best laps. Colby down for his last lap. He's out there with a damaged car. And he's still pole position. And just moves out of the way. He's may as well been on the radio as well, saying he's in for a hot one. Yes, and he is up on his best time. He's 0.16, so it's not enough to steal pole. He's got Mick Cliff just up ahead. Oh, he hits that curb. It's going to put him out in the wall. Nearly invalidates the time. He's got the slipstream to use. Will he steal pole? No, I think it invalidated the time. That was unfortunate. He was definitely going well. There we go. Gallen's doing a pre-race burnout for us. We've got 4 seconds remaining for the qualifying. Ample spaces for some burnout pads on this track. There we have qualifying complete for race 1 of round 1 for the Pagnian V8 Supercar Championship. Sami taking the quickest time again, not only in the practice but in the qualifying, so taking pole for the opening race. So well done to Sami, setting a 104.119. Then the rest of the grid, we have Philly, DK, Gallen, Mark, T-Rex, McCliff, Head Farmer, Simo Simsel, Dirty Monkey. We have Doggy Daddy with a grid place penalty that moves him up into position 11, so Dirty drops down. Sorry, no, the other way around. So Doggy Daddy moves down to 13th, Balaki moves up into position 12. And then we have Def, who has a grid place penalty, so that moves her down into 15th position. Cool Boy moves up into 14th, and Damn PS Man also suffering grid place penalty, qualified in 16th, so no movement there for him. So over to the grid now. Drivers having to remember to set their strategies over. The last 5 weeks, it was something they hadn't had to do. As the game, when it's set to defaults, it's generally pretty fine. There's only 2 options to choose from, loose or stable. And generally, either will be fine when using a steering wheel. However, the stable setup is a much more nicer setup as it's less jerky when using from a controller. However, if the drivers have got their radiators all closed up and much lighter fuel loads and forget to swap over to their race setup, it's going to definitely impede them. The car will be quick, however they'll be having to rush in for some fuel or worse, risk blowing their engine, as most usually close up the radiator openings for the qualifying just to get the extra speed out of the car, get out there for a few very quick laps and bring the car back in. If the drivers don't all hit that ready button before the 2-minute countdown is done, they will be disqualified and put into the pits. Hopefully all remember to hit that button. You want to see them missing out on precious race points. Here they are. They've all hit that ready button. Game will sync and they'll be ready to see the lights go green for the opening race. And away we go for the start. Sami gets off to pretty good. Corby is really putting down some pace. Sami's going to have the position for turn 1. But Corby squeezed up in front. We've had, I think as DK's gone out wide through turn 1. I've seen him drop back. He's now side by side with Philly. No, sorry, that is Gallen. And we're side by side with T-Rex and Marky Mark. T-Rex cuts the chicane, but I think that may be lag. And he's sitting very close to Mark's tail. That could definitely spell incident. Yeah, a few little glitches going on. Hopefully that gets all synced back up. No connection issues as it goes through. It looks like a pretty tidy opening lap. Side by side with Dan PS Man and Blaki. Dan PS Man just runs out wide. Sami still trying to chase down Corby. He's keeping that same gap for the entirety of the lap, despite Corby managing to get away and dominating that track position in turn 1. Oh, Sami scrapes the wall. He could very well be seeing Corby in a different position as I'm seeing him on my screen as glitching about. There's some latency issues for Corby. It means what you could be seeing on the broadcast to what I'm seeing on my screen and the other drivers could all very well be different. It looks like Sami's also having some latency issues. This car seems to be bouncing a bit on the track. Gallon starting to drop away from DK. DK showing some very good momentum. He's about a second quicker than Gallon from that last lap. Less than half a second that time around. We're now on lap 3 of 16. He's 1.2 seconds away from position 2. Facing down Sami. Heavily focused on closing that gap in on Corby. A couple of time-second penalties have gone through as well. Doggy Daddy with a bit of damage to his car. I don't think it's steering too straight at the moment. There's a battle between Mitcliffe and T-Rex. T-Rex takes a wider line. T-Rex got through the final corner a little bit quicker, however, Mick really pulled up the pace going down pit straight. T-Rex runs rather wide through turn 1. And drops that pace in for the next corners. Mick flying up through that section. Much quicker going up the hill. Could very well be the difference in car setups at this stage. Mick starting to put a fair bit of space between himself and T-Rex already. Doggy Daddy and Simo Simsel doing it out for position 9. Marky Mark's just gone into the pits. He's getting some repairs done by the looks of things. He's still trying to get onto Simo Simsel. Gallon 350 still trying to catch up to DK. He's just slightly improved his lap time from last. Now race leaders Corby and Sami still at that same gap. They're teetering between 0.3 to 0.2. Sami seemed to have a lot more pace through the chicane. Oh, big lag skip. It's going to be scary. And when both of the drivers are showing issues of lag, this could potentially lead to a lag incident if there's a pass. They may be thinking they're giving each other room, but definitely could actually be making contact without even knowing it. That would be devastating for both of them. Corby really pulls away down on pit straight. Pushes that lead out to 0.3, 0.4 again. However, he misjudges turn 1. There's a lot of oversteer in that. He had to correct it. Good run on here from Sami. Just scrapes that wall. He's using every bit of track. Dragging that mirror up along the barricade. See Sami really nail these chicanes. You can see a few little lag jerks as he's correcting through. See there, almost looked like Sami was going to run straight off the corner. This is where Corby really pulled away from him last lap. Sami's hanging on. He pushed this gap out to about 0.4. Oh, right on that tail. This could be risky. We could definitely see a lag issue here making contact. I think there may have even been a little lag bump in that. Sami significantly dropped off speed. He had such momentum coming down through there. It's especially when we've seen Sami much quicker through this first sector. Corby was seeming to be a little bit quicker through the final sector, but he definitely had it over Corby then, starting to put a bit of pressure on him. Alright, we're just under halfway. We're lap 7 of 16. DK trying to wind that down in on Philly. Last lap's around for Philly was a 105.464. DK a 105.477. It's not much between their pace at this point. DK is really going to have to try and gauge Philly's lines. Just see where he can try and improve on that. Try and close that gap in. Larky quickly closing down on Doggy Daddy. It's in that slipstream, really closes in. Want to be a little bit quick. Fair bit of aero wash coming down in turn 1. It was saved. There's going to be a lot of oversteer in that, but he did get that back under control. Sami again gets down to that 0.2 bracket. And it's through the last sector again. He's been engaging Corby. And they're coming up to some lap traffic as well. There's some back markers catching up. Oh, he's got that up on the curb. And it looks like Cool Boy's gone for the spin. That could have gone badly. Oh, he's going to almost go out into Mick Cliff's car. That was close. Doesn't look like he's taken damage. Sami dropping back to that 0.3 mark again. These two definitely pulling away from position 3. They got a 2.6 second lead. DK also slightly off pace. I think that may have been from seeing Cool Boy on that last corner in the spin. He was blocking the track a bit as he was trying to turn that car around to get off the driving line. Oh, Corby's dropped a position. Looks like he's made a mistake because he's quickly dropped and then really closed the gap between third positions. That's now allowed Philly to close in. Sami's persistence clearly forcing an error out of Corby. It's pretty hard to stay focused when you've got someone sitting in your mirror that close for a good 9 laps. Especially when they've been basically getting qualifying times out of the race from out front as well. And we're seeing 105s being set. Sami gets around Dan Pierce-Man. And more lap traffic as well. Yeah, try and get around. He's going to have to chuck in. He's going to have to be cautious as he comes in around these next couple. Oh, he put some pressure on and it's a spin. I think that may have been Balaki's car. No, it's not Balaki's, in the other blue car. That was Corby. Corby may have taken damage when he dropped from the race lead. He may be struggling with a damaged car. It could even have been some lag causing some issues. That's now seen Corby, who led for a good half of the race, now dropped into 5th position. Allowing Sami to get a very strong lead on the race. Now on lap 11, 5 to go. He's about to start lap 12. He's got 4.8 seconds over Philly Manili. Philly's got DK Rush quickly closing in on his tail. He can slowly close that down over these next 4 laps. Definitely have a shot at getting past Philly. And going back in 4th position. 4 seconds away from 3rd. Colby gets around Dan. Heathcliff is currently in 5th position. I think that's Marky Mark, that's just in behind Mick at the moment. He is a lap down. They're not racing for position here. Oh, he misjudges those corners. Seem to have a bit more pace coming into the chicane than Mick. You can see Mick start to be rather cautious. He doesn't want to get involved in a tangle with him, especially when he's a lap down. He's not racing him for position. He's a good 5 seconds away from the position behind. We have Head Farmer in position 7. T-Rex in 8th. Blakey sitting hot tight on his tail in position 9. And he's doing some multitasking there as a normal, doing some extra racing too. We look forward to jumping on track with you tomorrow night as a normal. Oh, we've had a disconnect. No, it's a retirement. Not sure who it is. It's gone missing. Cool Boy's retired out. Got Doggy Daddy currently in the pits. DK Rush right on the tail of Philly now. Got several drivers with post-race time penalties. And the 3 that all have the time penalties are all battling it out for position 7. They're only just under a second between each other. Head Farmer, T-Rex and Blakey. Oh, Blakey goes in for the spin. That's cost him. Oh, we're not even going to get a caught up shot. Doggy Daddy's just been released. Oh, we're not even going to show Blakey. Dirty Monkey just makes his way past, so he's lost a position. And when there is 1 second time penalties for Head Farmer, T-Rex, and 2 seconds for Blakey. Mark just coming out of pits now. DK losing that momentum that he was getting on Philly Manili. There's a second slower last lap compared to Philly's time. Army looking pretty safe up ahead. He's on lap 15 of 16. It looked like he cut that chicane, but I'm pretty sure that's some lag. Seeing a lot of side steps going on with his car. He's still putting down some very good laps. Could this potentially be a clean sweep for Sami? I think the quickest lap time Sami's is a 1:05.122. Let's see if there is a quicker time out there. He's on course for a clean sweep for the opening race. It's going to be a great way to start off the championship. And a big thanks to our sponsors as well. Pagnian Advanced Simulation and Next Level Racing. You can get all your Next Level Racing gear from Pagnian. Go to pagnianimports.com.au, and there's lots of gear and great service to go with it as well. And even a super fast delivery. Been great when I've ordered something and late in the week and then expected to have to wait at least a good week before it would arrive, and then to see it at your doors a day or so later is great. And there we have the opening race complete. Sami crosses and takes the checkers. Billy crosses in P2. Also on the podium is DK. Gallen crosses in 4th. Bobby brings up in 5th position. Good recovery considering the incident he had. Mick Cliff crosses in 6th. Head Farmer and T-Rex look like they're battling it out. They're both wearing time second penalties, but I think they've both got a second, so it's not going to affect them, no. So they both cross 7th and 8th. Dirty Monkey coming up in 9th position. Marky Mark was just ahead of him, crossing the line. There's a lap down. Larky crosses in 10th position. 10 seconds remaining to get the last laps done. Jeff brings it up in 11th position. And then we have conclusion for race 1 of round 1 of the Pagnian Imports V8 Supercar Championship, with Sami taking victory in the opening race. I'm pretty sure he still has the fastest lap. I have to scroll down well and truly. I'm pretty sure you can see, no, I think you may only see the first 10. So 105.122 seems to be the fastest lap, and that is Sami. And that was only just scraping in from Corby with a 105.194. So a clean sweep in the opening race for Sami. Congratulations. So then also on the podium we have Philly Manili in position 2 and Rush in position 3. And the rest of the grid we have Gallen, Corby, Mick, Head Farmer, T-Rex, Dirty Monkey, Balaki, Steph, Dan, Doggy Daddy, Simo Simsel, Marky Mark, and Cool Boy, who retired out on lap 10. So unfortunate for him having to retire there. Having about a 9-minute break, and then we'll be geared up and ready to head into session 2. We've got 15 minutes of qualifying, and then the main race for round 1, which is 30 laps around Watkins Glen International Short. And with what we've seen so far, it's going to be some great racing, so do stay tuned. If you haven't done so yet, be sure to hit that follow button. We'll be back very shortly. And welcome back for session 2 of round 1 of the Pagnian Imports V8 Supercar Championship. And we are at Watkins Glen International Short for the opening race. We just saw a fantastic drive by Sami, taking a clean sweep in the opening race. Of course, we are in the USA. Track time is now 1 p.m. Weather conditions have slightly cleared up, so it's now light cloud cover for the qualifying. Game session will progress to 2 p.m. for the race, and it will be clear conditions. That way we should be seeing some much quicker times. There's going to be a fair bit more grip now that the track temperatures will have increased from the first session. Don't forget, if you're just joining us for the stream, hit that follow button so you can be notified when we go live for all our races. We do broadcast Project Cars 2 on Thursday nights and iRacing on Monday nights. And I should be throwing up a point of view stream tomorrow night as well. I'll try and cover a few of the races that I do myself on iRacing. You'll be able to even jump on board with myself and see how I go in a league race myself. Last time we did that was for the Bathurst 1000 on iRacing. A little bit slippery for Balarki. Still got about 4 or 5 cars waiting to get out on track. Drivers in the lobby all mentioning that they were very impressive, very good, clean and courteous race from all, and that was the case. And that was mentioned with Coolboy with his spin on turn 8 and then keeping that car in a safe position, only moving out of the way once that was all nice and clear. Unfortunately for him, having to retire out 6 laps down. Doggy Daddy straight up cops a grid place penalty, so that's 1 grid place granted to him. First lap's coming through, 1:19.717. Very cautious lap by Corby. That car not slipping as much as what we saw in the first session. He's got that car very light, 5 litres of fuel. That's only going to be enough for him to be out there for a couple of laps. That's definitely why he was having a very cautious opening lap. He's using every bit of track to try and get some temp onto these tyres. We're probably going to jump on board with him for this lap. Probably dialed in for a pole setting lap here. Does have some traffic coming up. T-Rex has just gone off. That lap definitely sets a good time, a 1:07. A little bit of oversteer as he comes up over the crest on turn 1. And that is a big risk that he's taking with just how light this car is. He's now down to 3.4 litres of fuel. Temp already quite up there. Not on board for his best time. The lightness may be a curse here. I think this tail is very slippery. Sucking him behind Dirty Monkey. He moves out of the way for him. Managed to improve its lag there. Oh no, and he's binned it. That's huge, huge crash coming into the last corner. He has 1.3 seconds on his best. Been a 1:06. Timo Simsel landing in with a 1:06. He just improved that lap time. I think it was a 106.8, and he's just got that down to a 106.3. DK Rush setting the pole time so far, a 105.180. Mick Cliff moves up into P2 with a 106. Oh, that's cost him. That's got the death wobbles and put it into a spin. And DK just scrapes past. To see how light DK opting around double the amount of fuel compared to Corby. What if Corby's gone back out with the same amount of fuel and he's added a little bit of fuel to that car? I think that tail was just a little bit too slippery, so as he was approaching turn 7, he just lost that tail end and he had no choice but just hang on for the ride. Lucky and to get a time on the board. A little bit slippery for him. Fishes through. The chicane doesn't take any damage, so he doesn't want to bring that car into the pits. Keep that car out. Keep those tyre temps at those same temps. Coming in for a fresh car will cool off those tyres. It'll take another good couple of laps to get it back up the temp. And pole's been taken. Sami landing a 104.5. Is he going to follow suit from the first session tonight? Oh, Doggy Daddy's just gone in for a big spin. I think he's ran wide through turn 7. And then cut the corner on turn 8. So that's invalidated his current time and this lap time as well. Oh, I think it's Balaki that's just gone for a spin. He's just rolled out. Sounds like there's a little bit of contact going on. I think that was Marky Mark. Yeah, he's sure what's going on. DK may have also been involved in that, like he was going around at the same time. He may have made contact with Marky Mark. Gallon flying with that car. He's landed a 104.781. He's 0.6 away from Sami's time. He just moved out of the way for Mick Cliff. Gallon is trying to get some temp into those tyres. There goes Cool Boy. Cool Boy's yet to get time on the board. DK's qualifying time has been bumped way down now. T-Rex coming in with 5th position, Corby in 4th. Gallon now in 3rd. Simo Simsel's gone for a spin on the turn 8. And Philly qualifying in 2nd position. We had a 1-2 for Sami and Corby for the start of race 1. Philly running 20 litres of fuel. We're seeing Corby running really light. And we're only seeing 0.2 difference in lap time between himself and Philly's time. Very different in fuel loads. Just shows you how much custom setups can be. Oh no, dropping tyre fear is probably going to invalidate this coming lap. Hopefully it hasn't. I don't think it's come up on my race feed. There's 6 minutes remaining for qualifying. Then we head into 30 laps around Watkins Glen. Gallen sitting right on the tail of Dan. Costing a bit of time to get around. We saw about 8 seconds separating the field in the first qualifying session. Oh, Larky messes up on the approach into the chicane. Apparently 15 seconds. Dan gone off. I'm not sure what corner. I think that's just after the chicane. Cool Boy currently qualifying in 14th position. Doggy Daddy qualifying in 12th. He does have that grid place penalty. He's going to try and need to move himself up that standings board for qualifying so he can cop that grid place penalty. Army still holding pole position. There's 4 minutes remaining. Can he hold on to this lead? He's just moving off track. I think he may have been letting Gallen go through. Corby's moved up into position 2. He's bumped down Philly. Corby gets back out because he's running very light on that fuel, so he's only got enough to get out there for a few laps. Then he's going to bring it in. There's only 3 minutes remaining. Oh, he's brought that car back in. He's obviously forgot to change a setup. We may be having a quick break ahead of the 30 laps. Oh, very slippery for Philly. Philly putting down some very good pace still. DK and Cool Boy side by side on approach into the chicane. I think DK's got a fair bit of speed to go through there. Saves that car, drifts it through the exit. Probably not going to be a fantastic lap time. So we still so far have 15 seconds separating the cars. They didn't have that dialed down to 8 seconds. And slightly slower Velarki in qualifying 2. He did seem to struggle with the car a bit in the practice session, but he was doing really well in the qualifying. Oh, that's a big hit. I think that may have been Sami's car. Yeah, that was Sami that got caught up into it. It's not going to be enough time for him to get out and do another timed lap. That 104 is going to have to be his time. So if that does get beaten, he is unable to defend it. It is going to be a pretty tight time to beat because we're almost getting into the 103 mark. Now the C pole being stolen. Can Corby do it? He's doing a fair bit of weaving. Still trying to get some temp into those tyres. I'm not sure if he's going to have enough time to conclude this lap. He's definitely leaving it all up for this very last lap. He's done well for stealing pole position on the final lap. Can he do it? On board for a hot lap around Watkins Glen with Corby. Down to tricky turn one. Oh, he got loose up on that curb. That's qualifying complete. This is final laps. Line crest. He's got some traffic coming up as well. I can't make out whose car that is. He's 0.3 off his best time. I think he may have been weaving a little bit too much on approach to the final corner. That's Dan's car. A lot quicker through there. Runs off to get around. Not going to be qualifying lap for him here. Oh, and he's just cupped a hit. Not sure who that was, but it was Marky Mark. I think it was Head Farmer. He definitely misjudged that. Gallen's probably just pull up and probably do a burnout. We've got 15 seconds remaining for qualifying. Gallen doing a burnout for us. Nice little burnout before he crosses the line. There we have qualifying complete for session 2 of round 1. Sami again taking pole position with a 104.180. And again, Corby in P2, so the two starting from the front. We did see Corby quickly get ahead in the start of race 1. So then the rest of the field we have starting on the grids is Sami at pole, followed by Corby, Philly, T-Rex, DK, Gallen, Marky Mark, Mickliffe, Simo Simsel, Head Farmer, Steph, Doggy Daddy, who's got a grid place penalty. He moves down to 13th. Dirty Monkey moves up into 12th. Then we've got Cool Boy in 14th position. Dan PS Man in 15th. And Balaki in 16th. It's over to the grid now. Those drivers gear up ready for the main race of round 1. This is where the big points are at. There's 120 points on the line for a victory. Sami already having a good start to the championship with race 1 tonight. The clean sweep, taking 25 points for pole position. He landed 60 points for the victory and then secured 10 bonus points just for the fastest lap of the race. He's taken another 25 points for pole position again. There's 120 points on the line for this victory. And if he can also land in another fastest lap and get a full clean sweep for round 1, some very big points. And he can have himself heading off into round 2 to start the championship. Don't forget, if you're just joining us for the stream, do hit that follow button. And there's also our social media links down below. It says our YouTube link, bit.ly/ApexESL. It is case sensitive. You can go back and see all our YouTube videos there. All our broadcasts get stored over there, as Twitch only keeps our broadcasts for a couple of weeks. So there is over a year's worth of races there. You can see just how our drivers have developed over their time with Apex eSports League. It's been great to sit here and watch them progress to starting at the back of the field to becoming multi-championship winners. So it's a real pleasure. And of course, our Facebook page, fb.com/Apex Esports League. You can see our results, standings, and incident reports. Here we go, drivers hit ready. Lights about to go green for the main race tonight for round one. Corby is nudging that car forward. However, not getting away as quick this time. Sami was more prepared for him. Corby got out ahead very quick in race one and owned that position in turn one very quick. Sami very much turning the tables this time and pulling away from Corby. However, Sami was in his mirror, putting on some big pressure for majority of the race. So it's going to be the other way around for him. So can he hold off to Corby's pressure, especially with the quick pace that Corby has? And looks like a pretty good clean start again. Billy in third position, T-Rex in fourth. Corby's going to be feeling a bit of pressure from Philly. He's quickly closing that gap in. Ooh, Corby, a little bit of oversteer as he comes through turn 7. And then didn't carry as much momentum through the final corner. Seems to be pulling away down pit straight. We did notice that when he was in the lead against Sami, he really pulled away down pit straight. So he seems to have that straight line speed. There may be some gearing adjustment that Corby has really dialed in to increase that acceleration. T-Rex having Gallon close down on him. Nice line of traffic as they approach the chicane. Philly starting to look for an opening for Corby. Gallon doing the same. Philly almost goes to position for an inside line through turn 7. Will he? No, he did decide to yield. He's going to hold back. There are 30 laps. A more aggressive tactic at the start may not always be the best opportunity in the big race. And there is a mandatory pit requirement. A little bit of oversteer for Corby and Philly. Gallon starting to feel some pressure from DK. Simsels copped himself a post-race time penalty. Ooh, a little bit slippery on that corner exit from the chicanes for DK. It's cost him a lot of speed. He's lost that momentum that he was catching on Gallon. Midcliff a couple of seconds away from DK. Simsel closing down on Marky Mark. He's also got the Head Farmer and Cowboy starting to close in. Head Farmer goes wide. Saw him have the same issue in the last laps of qualifying. He's lost a lot of speed. Simo's really caught up on the tail as he comes down pit straight. Is he going to risk taking a move on turn 1? Locks that back right. Goes for an outside move, a little bit of rubbing. Cowboy's gone for a slide. They're still battling it out. Simo got pushed out wide. Cowboy be able to turn himself around here. Got himself back out on track. He's got Dan 3 seconds behind him. The battle for 12th position. Sorry, no, this is 11th position. It's Steph and Balarki. And also Dirty Monkey coming to join in on the party. Mark now trying to close down in on Stimo. The race leader's still trying to close that gap in. Sami really pulling away from Corby. Bring up some car information and just see what strategy may be between the two. Starting running 71 litres of fuel. Corby, same. So they've loaded up enough fuel to get through the race. Could very well come down to tyres when it comes to the pit stop. The drivers aren't required to actually do anything for the service as a requirement of the mandatory pit stop. They can just pull up, have the car jacked, dropped and go. You do not have to change tyres, you do not have to add fuel. But it is all pure strategic. If you can make a set of softs last out there and get some phenomenal lap times, that's an advantage. Otherwise, if you're going to opt for these softs but chew through them pretty quickly. It's going along the side of T-Rex. Past him just ahead of turn 1. DK Rush also getting the run on T-Rex through turn 1. Pulls away nicely up through turns 2 and 3. Narrowly avoids that wall. T-Rex not giving up that position. Managed to carry a lot of speed up through that hill. Feathering that throttle through that hairpin. DK starting to pull away just a little bit. Yeah, I was looking for. Cool boy starting to close down in on Doggy Daddy. Corby's had a slip. He's lost a fair bit of time. Like he may have caved into the pressure from Philly. He's putting it on there for quite a while. He's got 3.5 seconds to catch up to Sami. Corby lost about 2 seconds on that last lap. He's got 3 seconds for Gallen to catch up. DK goes for an outside pass ahead of turn 7. Pulls back in. And he runs out wide. That's allowed T-Rex to get a position back. Costly mistake for DK. That hasn't put him out of the race, he's just dropped the position. Probably still trying to catch that gap back up to Philly so we can have another crack at getting back into position 2. Little wall contact for T-Rex. That was quite a hefty hit. It's buckled the bonnet. That's taken a bit of aero damage. Just looking over at the stream if it's showing the same. It's definitely cost him some speed. Let's hope that hasn't affected steering at all. I've got a heavily cracked screen on my side where it's cracked all the way through. On the stream it's only showing that bottom right corner. That's meaning lag definitely did play a part in that wall contact. Yeah, killer there. It is some mad racing out there. These guys are phenomenal. The talent we see from our members is phenomenal. And we regularly see world record times being set in races. And consistently in qualifying, it's fantastic to see. Cool dog. Sorry, Cool Boy, getting the two names mixed up. Cool Boy looking to battle it out with Doggy Daddy. Good oversteer, he hits that curb. Starts to fishy that car. Interesting to see how running enough fuel for the car. DK's managed to get back around to Rex. He's really starting to drop off, but Gallen's just hit the wall. I think that may have actually been lag. I don't think Gallen actually did hit. That car looks to be okay. May not be driving the best. It's going to be an opportunity for DK if it is. Well and truly put DK off. He was anticipating to have to avoid a significant incident. Dirty Monkey honing down in on Simo Simzel. 0.3 away. Sitting hot tight on his tail down for the chicane. Navigates that super smooth. Dirty's doing this from a controller as well. It's phenomenal control with this car on a controller. Can see him having to make lots of little adjustments in the steering. It's a lot of effort just to try and keep the car straight. Dirty does quite well with battling still on the controller. It makes it a little bit more difficult when you've got to be flicking it about so much. It's a little bit harder to react a tad quicker when you're side by side with other cars. Seeing some lap cars. Several that have been lapped so far. Head Farmers now in the pits. They've been past Marky Mark and Blarky. Oh, Philly got put offline as he gets around Dan. A slightly different line, wanting to get around Dan. It's cost him scraping that wall. Hopefully it hasn't been too crucial of damage. If there is a little bit of damage, the lucky bit is they're almost at the halfway point. If that is their strategy for pitting, at least that can get tended to now, and he's not going to lose out too much time from any aero damage. Going to have Gallen and DK catching up to some more lap traffic. Steph just up ahead. Steph goes off in the dirt to let the guys through. Currently running 13th position. It's like T-Rex behind her. He backs off, lets him through. It looks like Corby making his way through as well. No, that's not Corby, that's Blarky, I do believe. Yes, Blarky getting through. Blarky seizing the opportunity as he was racing Steph for position, and Steph moved over and slowed down to let the passing traffic through. However, Blarky is keeping pace with T-Rex at this stage. I was actually looking for. Balaki tucking in behind T-Rex. If he can keep up with our front runners, potentially see himself unlap him and then start closing that gap a bit more. Sitting in 11th position. About 20 seconds to catch up to Doggy Daddy. Balaki showing a lot more pace than T-Rex at this stage. T-Rex has got that heavy right side damage. That's through. I'm not sure if he's going to head into the pits. He does stay out on track. Not a lot of movement with our front runners. Race leader Sami staying out front. He's putting down some very quick times, 105.984 the last time around. He's now leading over Philly in P2 by 5.7 seconds. Philly being off foot, hitting around some back markers before making some wall contact. Appears to be doing alright. Half a second quicker last lap compared to Corby. He can maintain that pace. Looks like he's heading into the pits now. Coolboy and Steph both also in the pits. Corby stays out on track. That's Gallon and DK coming down pit straight now. They move up a position. The tyre change for Philly. Flags away. He is contending with a little bit of damage. There's a little bit of a lengthier pit stop. There he goes, off and away. Nick Cliff also in the pits. Just pulled up in his bay then. Steph just underway, heading out of the pits. Gallon still holding DK at bay. There's a second between the two. I think DK's coming into the pits. Corby, Gallon and Sami all still out on track. Billy rejoins the race in position 4. Should easily take back that position from DK. However, Philly did have a lengthy stop as he was tending to that damage. DK's off and away. Philly crosses the line, so he's just got the position back. Oh, it's going to be racing out of pit exit. I'm not sure if that's Marky Mark. It's Marky Mark. Battle for 11th position. Simo Simsel closing down in on Coolboy. Seeming to sport some damage. I think Coolboy did pit in early to contend with some damage. Means he doesn't have to head out for a pit. Dan heads into the pits. Colby also currently in there. Fair few drivers with post-race time penalties. Billy gets ahead of Corby. Had a good few seconds over him before having to pit. He's well and truly ahead. Was was a rather lengthy stop for Corby. Maybe the errors he had earlier caused some damage to the car. Could have actually been opting for a tyre change. T-Rex in third position now, making his first pit stop. Barmy still leading our race. We're on lap 19 of 30. 11 to go. He's had a beautiful run. I don't know if that was lag or if he was almost contemplating staying out for another lap. Will it be a nice quick stop? Will Gallen also take this opportunity to bring the car in? Yes, he brings that car in. Quick stop and go for Sami. Got a few scrapes. There goes Gallen. The two are racing for position here. Gets away nice and quick. Quick release for Gallen as well by the looks of it. Now he's still at his pit box. Going to be good for Sami, but look, Philly is closing in. Bring up the map. Sami back out of the pits. He is just out ahead of Philly. Ranter's back in, only 3.2 seconds away. He did have a 6-second lead before having to pit. With 10 laps to go, Philly can definitely rain down. Oh boy, just moves over to the side just in time for the chicanes for Philly. Doesn't lose too much speed as he approaches the sector. Big Cliff looking to get around T-Rex. Ooh, he darts off to the right hand side. He's looking for an opening. Would have been a risky attempt to go off onto that inside line on the approach into the chicane. This is the spectacular driving that we're seeing from Mick now. He's able to very much do the very aggressive darting side to side. A little bit of traffic coming on. I think that's Head Farmer. No, must be Marky Mark. He's struggling with that car at the moment. It's been a big incident. He's hit the water tanks at the entrance to the pits. I think that's some pretty critical damage. He's really struggling with that car. I don't know if she's moving. Let's see if that's copped him a penalty. He may have gone in there pretty quick. Yeah, I think he did actually cross that line at speed, so it's given him 13 seconds, unless that was a speeding penalty from before. That's definitely cost Mark his race. Fortunate luck for round one for Mark. Mark was having a cracker in the Ferraris last series. Yeah, 61 in a 60 zone, harsh. Yes, definitely. The game is very brutal for those penalties. DK to get around Cool Boy now. Head Farmer battling it out with Dan, position 12. Looks like that's either Sami or Philly catching up to these guys. That's Sami. He's going to have to play caution here as he approaches other drivers who are still battling for position. Ooh, and he's misjudged. Just scrapes past. Side swipes. Could have been bad. Philly's copped a post-race penalty as well. Let's see who else has got penalties. Dan wearing 10 seconds and speeding in pits. 1 second for Head Farmer. Simo Sims 5 seconds. Coolboy 1 second. 1 second for Corby and 1 second for Philly. Smaller time penalties is you're exceeding track limits, not abiding by the slowdown request. Depending on the track, just how the game actually requests you to slow down, sometimes you lose actually a lot more time on your lap by slowing down than actually just taking the time penalty. Sometimes it's just much better just to take 1 second on the chin rather than having to slow down by 3 to 4 seconds on your lap. If you can keep that momentum and just wear the 1 second at the end of the race, you're going to be probably alright. However, in saying that, we have seen victories taken by post-race time penalties. And there's only 1 second on it, and there's a retirement. Not sure he's just retired out. DK got out ahead of Gallen. Gallen now in 4th position. Colby in 5th. I think we may have had Doggy retire out. He hasn't disconnected. We're on lap 25 of 30. 5 to go. He has led for the entirety of the race. Bring up these timings and see how he's going for fastest lap. He definitely hasn't got it at this point. It looks like it's a 104. DK has landed a 104.964. Let's scan through and see if it's been beaten. No. Fastest lap of the race, a 104.964 by DK. Will Sami try and really push this car in these last few laps? Try and get the fastest lap. Just depending on what he did with tyres. He's out there on some good fresh rubber, and those fuel levels dropping to that of qualifying conditions. Could definitely see him land a 104. He's done a 104.7. Yes, that lap just stole the fastest lap. As we were talking about it, he ends up pulling it. Sami looking good for a clean sweep if he can keep that fastest lap. It's going to be a great main race for round 1. Having a full clean sweep and having led the entirety of the main race. A great feat. We did see that recently with Gallen in our Bathurst GT3 Enduro. And that's a 2.5 hour race to leave for every single lap and to lap every car on the track. That's just a great feat. Galen doing very well also in the V8. He stoked with himself coming out of Bannockbury last week, not having the greatest race. Struggled with that Ferrari around that track. It is a very difficult track. Oh no, Sami's binned it last corner. That's Philly tucking right in behind him, and he looks like he's taken some damage. Not sure if he may have been actually balked by some oncoming traffic, or if he's just locked it up. He may have been still trying to push for some fast laps. That rear not looking good. That did not want to stay down as he went through turn 1. Yeah, Kill, that's right. For our no rules race, managing to see your cars actually get disqualified in a no rules race, that's quite impressive. I don't even know how that could be possible, but that was a lot of fun. We're definitely going to have to throw them into the mix again at some stage. And there is a 1 second time penalty for Philly. Depending on what the drivers have for their heads-up displays while they're driving, they can actually customize what they see. So they may see the standings board or a relative standings board. And if they do have the standings board, it will actually show who's got a drive-through penalty and if anyone's actually got a time second penalty. Where some drivers do actually opt to try and go quite realistic and remove all heads-up information. So they have no clue if someone's in the pits or whether they're wearing any penalties at all. And when that is the case, they won't see that time second penalty. That Philly would be showing a +1 next to his gap difference where we're seeing it on the broadcast. Sami is aware. All he's got to do is just make sure that if Philly does get around, he has to just sit within 1 second from him and he can take back that win. That's the final lap now. There's only 1.5 seconds separating the two. You can't afford another mistake here. I think that's Balaki that's just pulled over to the side. Corby just gets around Dan. He's in 4th position. He's a good way off Galen in 4th. He's currently 8 seconds away from our race lead. DK looking pretty safe. He's got 3 seconds between himself and Galen. He's 3 seconds away from position 2. Philly with a safety net. However, that gap between our race leader Sami and Philly is closing in. It's less than a second. Sami does not need to cave into pressure here. He just needs to take it easy. Even if he lets Philly through, it doesn't matter. As long as he's side by side with him. He may even try and do it. They're going to do a 1-2 finish. Look at this. Cross the line at the same time. Brilliantly done. 1-2 for Vazmak. I know Philly and has been keen to try and do that with Wira for ages. And Wira unfortunately not making it tonight. But Sami jumping into his car. So well done, Sami. It's like a clean sweep, 104.7 still. That's a phenomenal lap. Well done, Philly in position 2. DK in 3rd. Galen takes 4th position. Corby in 5th. T-Rex takes 6th position. Mitcliffe in 7th. Larky took 8th. Not sure if AI's driving that. I think they may have. Coolboy and Simo both crossing the line. There we have conclusion of round 1 of the Pagnian Imports V8 Supercar Championship. We have Sami taking a full clean sweep in the opening round. So taking both pole positions, 2 victories, and both the fastest lap bonus points for the round. So well done to Sami at the top of the podium. And then also on the podium we have Philly Manili in position 2 and DK Rush in position 3. Congratulations. We'll be adding these guys in for an interview in a moment. And the rest of the standings are Gallen, Corby, T-Rex, McCliff, Balaki, Dirty Monkey, Coolboy, Simo Simsel, Head Farmer, Steph, Dan, Mikey Mark, and Doggy Daddy. Oh, and he did actually get a DQ, so I'm not sure what's going on there. I think that may have been speeding, but I'm pretty sure 51 seconds isn't enough to actually DQ that. So that's quite interesting. That's about lap 12, so he may have actually gone into the pits rather quickly. So we'll be adding in Sami, Philly, and DK in just a moment as we bring them in. If there's any questions you'll ask the guys, be sure to throw it in the chat. I can relay that to them. It does take me a moment just to go through all my PlayStation menus to actually invite them in. Find all the guys. There we go. Shot that through to our podium finishers, Sami, Philly, and DK. We'll see them join in momentarily. DK, Philly, and Sami. Congratulations, 1-2 for the Vazmax again.
How good's that?
Yeah.
JT.
Yeah,
I seen Sami crashing. I was like, oh, nah. Go, buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1-2, man.
was
That's awesome.
very close, and it was great seeing us get alongside each other for the finish line. So you had that 1 second penalty on you, so it wasn't going to be costing you too much trying to do that, Sami. So yeah, it was great to see. And to lead the entirety of the race as well. So it's a full clean sweep.
Yeah,
cheers, JT.
I think you'll deserve a beer after this.
Yeah, I think so. It was pretty tough actually. 'Cause you don't really get a rest around there, so
I got a Gatorade.
I was pretty lucky when just sort of come up on I'm not too sure who it was, Doggy and a couple of the back markers there those last few laps, and sort of Dan sort of turned in just as I sort of thought I'd had the run out of the corner. I thought I'd get past him, but he sort of turned in and clipped me. So
did you get much damage out of it, Sami? Or?
Oh, I didn't even pay attention to it, mate. I just
I was like, oh, because I could see your boot lid flopping around. I was like, I hope this car's alright.
I was pretty lucky, but
it seemed to be handling quite alright after that. It's a very close scrape.
Yeah, I was lucky, but yeah, good run, DK and Philly, and
yeah, thanks, Sam.
All right.
Yeah, cheers,
Congrats, Philly and DK.
Cheers.
Thanks,
Really bringing those times down too in the end, DK. You hounded down Gallen. And
Yeah,
you
I
started
knew-
to close that gap in on Philly pretty quick too.
Yeah, I was
and
watching that. I was like, oh, God.
I knew that once I pitted before Gallen, that on the outlap I had to push, so that's where the 104.9 came into it.
That was the fastest lap of the
think.
race too. Yeah,
For a bit,
pretty early
for a
on,
little bit,
and
then Sami
Sami
took it.
landed it.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Oh, he was flying right up until
flying.
that incident. I couldn't get anywhere near him. I got an undercut on the pit, and that was about it.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I thought Sami may have been waiting to do a Barocchi and just get the fastest lap on the last lap. So
Yeah, I was getting quicker and quicker
close
as
to
the laps went by. Yeah, so but it was just unfortunate. I had that sort of collision with Dan, so which I think affected the
Congrats on the win,
downforce a
Sam.
bit.
Yeah, awesome win, Sami. Point
awesome.
sweep.
Cheers.
I have to
Yeah.
send you a broom.
But the last time I get called up, I think I'll be left on the reserves bench next week.
Uh,
Yeah, that was a
it'll
good.
be interesting
race.
and even more tight close racing next week with Rapuna Park.
Yeah, definitely. That's an interesting track, that one.
Yeah, that's good. It was a good battle in the first race too with Corby, those first few laps, so it's good.
Yeah, getting that jump on him at the start definitely had that advantage because he took ahead and dominated that position pretty early in race 1, but you definitely getting ahead nice and quick at that start just carried that momentum for the rest of the race.
Yeah, I was able to clear out and just let him and Philly sort of battle it out a bit and sort of take up a little bit of time, so which gave me a few seconds lead, so which was good.
Yeah, well
I
done,
think
guys.
Roy's going to be
Shame
angry
Will
about
wasn't there with
some
us, but
damage in his car.
Yeah,
yeah, it's a
I'm
shame he
sure
wasn't there tonight.
he'll be
But
expecting it all nicely detailed, ready for next week.
yeah, that's it. Ready for the handover. Sweet,
All right.
too
Thanks
easy.
a lot,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Thanks, JT.
No
Cheers,
worries.
JT. Congrats,
On you,
Sam.
Yeah,
Sammy and
thanks guys.
DK.
Congrats, Philly.
Yeah,
Yep.
Thanks,
yeah,
mate.
thanks JT. Thanks for another awesome
No
night.
worries.
Let's go play some golf.
Thanks.
And there we have our podium finishers, Sami, Philly, and DK, with Sami taking a clean sweep. And next week, as I was mentioning, we are back for round 2, Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And then it is at Ruapuna Parks over to New Zealand. That's another good short track and lots of good racing action to be seen there with what we've had from our drivers so far. It's going to be a very exciting series. So do hit that follow button if you haven't done so yet, and then you can be notified when we go live. And then we have more V8s. So if you want to see the VFs versus the FGs in the 2014 models V8 Supercars on iRacing, that is on Monday night at 7:30 p.m. So do check that out. There's been some great racing going on there, and they are at Long Beach Street Circuit. So thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you trackside next time.